Shalom Israel, this is your brother Shamal Kassad, giving all praises to the Most High Yahweh and his beloved son Yahweh Shai. Today is Friday, July 31st, 2020. And right now I got this article from CNBC. Just want to read it with you guys. It says minimum wage workers cannot afford rent in any state, any U.S. state. And this was published from the 14th of July. So it's like maybe 15, 16 days old. Sorry, 16, 17 days old. So it's still pretty recent. Let's read what it says. Full-time minimum wage workers cannot afford a two-bedroom rental anywhere in the U.S. and cannot afford a one-bedroom rental in 95 of U.S. counties, according to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition annual out-of-reach report. Damn, that's really bad, man. That is really bad. Sheesh, I thought it was just expensive cities like New York City, Los Angeles, San Francisco. They say in every state. Sheesh. Let's read on. In fact, the average minimum wage worker in the U.S. would need to work almost 97 hours per week to afford a fair market rate two-bedroom and 79 hours per week to afford a one-bedroom. NLIHC calculates. That's well over two full-time jobs just to be able to afford a two-bedroom rental. Now, see, that's a damn abomination, man. That is a complete abomination. You know what I'm saying? And you want to know who I really blame for that? I really blame the government because they really haven't regulate a lot of these real estate companies from ODing and taking advantage of possible renters. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these real estate companies, real estate developers, they got a lot of these senators and politicians in their pocket to the point where they could put up all these, these nice fancy dancy apartments and stuff like that and charge exorbitant amount of rent, knowing damn well very few people could be able to afford that. And that right there is a complete abomination. Come on, man. 97 hours, that's more than two full-time jobs. That's more two 40-hour a week jobs. So you probably had to get a third, part of full-time job just to be able to afford a roof over your head. Come on. That's an abomination, man. As you see the chart over here, 2022 bedroom rental housing wages. So I guess they saying how much you have to make an hour. New York, it says you gotta make 32.53. Florida's 24. Georgia's 19.11. California's 36.96. Oregon is 24.37. Washington is 30.46. So on and so forth. And see, what makes this whole shit worse is that, these real estate developers charge all these exorbitant rents. But again, in many of these states, the minimum wage is still $8. The minimum wage is still $7.50. You know what I'm saying? $8.56 or some madness like that. I think for the state of New Jersey, I think up until like maybe like last year, maybe around this time or something like that, the minimum wage was still $8, like $8.50 or some madness like that. And the rents in Jersey is pretty expensive, depending on which city that you live in. Not everybody want to live in the hood places or the rundown places like Camden, say, or Newark. No offense to anybody that lives there, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Some of these other states, from the south to west, I think Florida is still like nine something or maybe 10 an hour, something like that. And a lot of people went into Florida because the low cost of living. Yeah, okay, think again. Listen, the rents in Florida, in Georgia, so on and so forth, rent prices are starting to creep up. Parts, neighborhoods in some parts of Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, Boca Raton. Listen, them rents is creeping up. Jacksonville, rents is creeping up. Atlanta, Georgia, I'm hearing a lot of reports of gentrification is going on in Atlanta. A lot of low income families getting the push broom. You know what I'm saying? See, like how the Showtime at the Apollo. You know what I'm saying? When you whack, Sandman comes, he comes with a push broom. Well, back in the day, he comes with a push broom, like to tell you to get the hell off the stage. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing to y'all. A lot of these cities. So for a lot of y'all think it's just like, you know, the Northeast and like California that's going through, housing crisis where you got a lot of high, unaffordable, apartments, but the wages are still low. Think again. A lot of these southern states, Midwest, Mountain Pacific, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them is going through it too, man. South especially the fact that a lot of people are running back down south, and a lot of companies and agencies are moving to the south. A lot of people didn't know that some of the studios that's in Hollywood, a lot of them are moving to Georgia. A lot of y'all did not know that. You know what I'm saying? Amazon just set up a couple of headquarters somewhere down south. I think one of them is in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? So let's read on. The report released Tuesday defines affordable, quote unquote, as spending no more than 30% of monthly income on rent, which is how it's supposed to be. Listen, gone are the days where, you know, one job holds down the rent, pays all the bills, you know, buy groceries, and that you'll still be able to have a few dollars to play around and also to hold you down, to put away for a rainy day, like it was in the 60s and 70s. Listen, those days are long gone, man. That's why me personally, not to go on a tangent, I tend to laugh at these damn level up chicks. I tend to laugh with these femininity chicks with the whole, man works and pay all the bills and this, that, and the third. Listen, you just read the chart, man. You just read the article. To be able to afford a two-bedroom apartment, a man would have to pretty much work himself to death. 97 hours. If it's a one bedroom, 79 hours. You know what I'm saying? You pretty much have to work yourself to death just to afford an apartment. That's not even counting the expenses, food, clothing, gas. You know what I'm saying? Transportation. Whether you take public transportation, whether you got a car, whether you take cabs, so on and so forth. Food, clothing. But that's another video. Let's continue. Nationally, NLIHC put the housing wage for 2020 or what a full-time worker must make in order to afford a fair. market rental without spending more than 30% of his or her income. So yeah, I was correct. This chart is how much you got to make an hour in order to be able to float. Like Idaho, 1657, Montana, 1688. To to my understanding, the minimum wage over there is still like $8. You know what I'm saying? So you pretty much have to work two full-time jobs just to stay afloat in those states. You know what I'm saying? New York, 32.53 an hour. Minimum wage is 15. You understand what I'm saying? So again, you gotta work two full-time jobs just to stay afloat. Come on. That shit is wicked as hell, man. Texas, 20.90. $20.90 an hour. If I'm not mistaken, Texas, the minimum wage is still possibly in the single digits, if I'm not mistaken, or just in the low double digits. You understand what I'm saying? Florida, 24.43. If I'm not mistaken, Florida is still like $9, $10 an hour. So you're pretty much killing yourself just to be able to keep a roof over your head. And again, I blame the government because they allow these real estate developers to get out of pocket, to run amok and not get checked. And the main reason for that is that a lot of these politicians are in, are in the pockets of these real estate developers. A lot of these, a lot of these real estate developers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them are huge lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? Lobbyists for these senators and these politicians and these governors and so on and so forth, which is the reason why they can run amok, charging you 1,500 a month rent for a two bedrooms apartment when minimum wage is still $8. You understand what I'm saying? That is a complete abomination, man. So let's read on. At 23.96% per hour, uh, no, 23.96 per hour for a two-bedroom rental and $19.56 per hour for one bedroom. That's pretty much the average. That means even the average hourly worker who earns $18.22 per hour cannot afford rent, the report says. Many workers deemed essential during the coronavirus pandemic earn even less. You see that bullshit? Do you see that shit? So many of the essential workers, that must work during this whole COVID-19 thing are working for bullshit pay where they can't even afford, what I'm saying, to keep a roof over their head. Come on, that's wicked as hell, man. Let's keep reading. Grocery store cashiers earn a median wage of $11.61 per hour, while building cleaning workers and home health and personal care aides earn $12.94 per NLIHC. There was a housing crisis even before the pandemic, which is true. Many states was going through it. New York is one of them. New York City is one of them. That's why you got a lot of these housing lottery joints going on. And with these housing lotteries, listen, you have a lot of them, a lot of housing lotteries, you know, to the point where for some of them, if it's all one of these nice housing lotteries that got all kinds of bells and whistles, you got anywhere from close to 50,000 to close. I remember one that had like almost 100,000 people applying for some of these low income housing. So yeah, there was a housing crisis before the pandemic, but with this pandemic, it made it even worse. There was a housing affordability crisis even before the pandemic hits, and tens of millions lost their jobs. Last year, the NLIHC reports also found that a two-bedroom was not affordable anywhere in the country, putting the 2019 housing wage at $22.96 for a two-bedroom rental and $18.65 for a one-bedroom. So even last year, listen, you got to make those just to stay afloat. But the findings are especially relevant now. Coronavirus related job losses hit the hospitality and service industry particularly hard, and renters make up a disproportionate share of those workforces. According to the Urban Institute, additionally, it's not like the U.S. will make a V-shaped recovery economists are hoping for. And that's another thing. You got people like, you know, like this dickhead, bitch McConnell, 'cause that's what I call him, bitch McConnell, really holding out for this whole V-shaped recovery. Listen, man, that shit is not coming anytime soon, man. Additionally, it's not likely that the U.S. will make a V-shaped recovery economists are hoping for, as states are reclosing large parts of their economies as virus cases spike across the country. With all of that as a backdrop, housing experts forecast a coming housing apocalypse at the end of July. Woo! Yeah, it's about to get bad out here. Eviction bans put in place at the start of the pandemic are lifting, just as enhanced unemployment benefits expire. And see, that's another thing. Not for nothing, a lot of that enhanced unemployment benefits that was holding people down, and in some states, hell, in many states, that extra $600 from the federal unemployment was actually putting folks into that criteria where they actually were able to afford one and two bedroom apartments at the current inflated prices that it is now. See what I'm saying? So now that it's about to expire, a lot of people are going to be jacked up out here. That's plain and simple. That could lead to millions of households to face eviction and potentially homelessness as they choose between covering rent and basics like food and medicine. An estimated 32% of households, almost one third, missed their housing payment at the beginning of this month. Pre-existing, pre-existing structural injustice like limited housing options mean people of color already made up a disproportionate share of people experiencing homelessness in the U.S. before the pandemic, the report says. Black Americans comprised 40% of people experiencing homelessness in 2019. See, it's mainly us. It's many black people. Even though they're just 13% of the population, according to the report. Hispanic and Latino were 18% of the population and 22% of those experiencing homelessness. So you Hispanics, you guys are not exactly out of the woods yourselves. You know what I'm saying? You guys are about to catching it as well. NLIHC reports calls for significant investments in affordable rental housing and emergency rental assistance to keep low income renters stably housed during and after the pandemic. The House of Representatives has passed the Health and Economic Recovery Omnibus Emergency Solutions, or HEROES Act, and Emergency Housing Protection and Relief Act of 2020 to address the crisis. Neither bill is expected to pass in the Republican-controlled Senate. See what I'm saying? Now you got a lot of folks about to be asked out here because the Republican-controlled Senate want to play games. They want to play hardball. You know what I'm saying? The House of Representatives passed the HEROES Act sometime in May before Memorial Day, and the senators dragged their feet, pretty much pissed away all of June, and was lackadaisical for most of July, and now it comes down to the wire. Now they want to call themselves quote unquote, you know, hustling to rushing to quote unquote come to an agreement. But I'm like, yo, you guys had 2 months to figure this shit out. So now, you know, today is Friday. 9 times out of 10, nothing's gonna get done today. So it's gonna get them 5 days or seven days if you want to count the weekend, for them to figure something out. Because once they go on vacation, if they haven't come to an agreement of anything as far as the HEROES Act or the Emergency Housing Protection and Relief Act of 2020, if those aren't passed by August 8th, then you know the senators and the House of Representatives, they go on vacation and they will not come back until late September. And by then, the eviction course is going to be open, and a lot of people is about to be jacked up out here. A lot of folks are about to be asked out here. So you guys, just watch and pray. I pray you guys, the most I'll be able to hold you guys down, to provide for you guys, make a way out of no way, make a way that you guys are able to survive, to eat, to have a roof over your head. And if you have some extra money on you right now would be a time to make sure everything is in order. You're caught up on rent, you got enough food in your house, or if you caught up on rent and you got food, go out and rack out some more food. Because I'm telling you, it's going to get ugly out here. So that's just it. What do you guys think? This is your brother Shamal Al Qassad signing off, saying shalom, and watch and pray, guys. Watch and pray. Shalom.